Welcome, all you beautiful souls, to your weekly energy update. And we're going to be looking at the week of June 26th through July 3rd. Has some interesting things that are happening this week astrologically, actually starting on the 26th all the way up to like July 1st. The god of war, Mars, is going to be having this interesting kind of energetic dance with Pluto. So you got the god of war and Pluto, which is kind of the destroyer of things. It's like the challenging kind of energy of that planet. And they're both going to be interacting with each other during those 4 or 5 days. So really be aware that there's going to be some it's almost like you can smell gas in the air and you're like, don't light any matches because it's going to go boom. So just walk gently with others and just kind of carefully walk around. Don't have to walk on eggshells, but just be aware on, do I need to say things that way or do I need to say that at all? And wait for this week to kind of go by before you bring up any kind of volatile subjects. Because we also have on June 28th, the new moon in Cancer. Cancer is a very emotional, energy. It is attached to the moon. So, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, so you've got all this strong emotional energy that is happening. Not so much like a full moon, but a new moon is about new things, new emotions coming in. So you've got that mother, that nurturing energy, that emotional energy that's interacting as well, starting on June 28th, planting new seeds for new emotions, new ways of looking at things too. We also have the Neptune, planet of Neptune, on June 28th, the same day as the new moon, going fully retrograde. We've been in the pre-shadow of it since March 22nd. So you've already started to feel this energy of the Neptune retrograde, which is about like the stripping away of illusions or any kind of realities or any kind of small t truths that could have clouded our vision and keeping us from having clarity. So as this started in March 22nd, like some beliefs, some ways of seeing things have started to be challenged, but now we're going to go full bloom from June 28th all the way through December 3rd in having like this review of what we believe about things. Especially Neptune has to do a lot with our spirituality, our awareness of that kind of dreamy type world as well. And get used to that emotion and that feeling as we revisit that, because we actually it goes direct on December 3rd, but then we go into the post shadow of that, which means that we kind of have a review of the things that we wanted to change all the way up until like March 10th, which is very interesting because Neptune, we start to go kind of head forward, but then we kind of start going to a halt and drifting backward again because we go back in to retrograde June 30th of next year, and we stay in that all the way until December 24th of next year, the 2023, and we'll be in the post shadow of that all the way until March 27th of 2024. So this challenging of looking at the way we see things is going to be a huge theme for the next, year and a half, right? So just get used to it. Once we understand that this is the energy that's out there, then we can deal with it differently because we know why it's happening. We don't feel as out of water, which makes sense with everything going on in the world, with all these truths that are coming out around political things and, everything everywhere. All of us have been having like this challenge of what do I believe? Because we're hearing different stories from all over the place, and it really starts having you wonder, what is truth? All these capital T truths of the heavenly realm, we're wanting to grasp for that because all the small t truths of the human world seem to be fluctuating and flying all over the place and even contradicting each other. So there is this call for a capital T truth that's so much more. I always say that the small t truths are those that are rooted in the conditional love of the human side, but the capital T truths of the heavenly realm are those that are rooted in unconditional love. So we're going to be having this little fluctuation and this pointing towards ourselves to find out what within our soul do we believe, instead of listening to the popular opinion of the humans and the outside world. So we're going to dive in to your weekly reading just to see what is going to be coming about from this sparking of energy and see what the Creator wants you to know. So we'll jump into your sign right now. All right, Aries, this is your weekly energy update, and we're going to be starting off by pulling a card here from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, just to see overall what the Creator wants you to know about this energy that's coming in, about the challenging of your truths. Just give this a good shuffle. Any of the cards I do use in a reading, I do list in the description box below. All right. So for our Aries, what would you like them to know, okay, about this energy for this week? And you've got the jeweled web connectivity, which makes total sense with what we were talking about, just how you're connecting with the world. We'll just put this right here. Let me just adjust this lighting a little bit. There we go. And let's see what energy comes with this for you. So this talks about the connectivity, so no separation. It's the feeling state. Approaching any oracle requires you to come in with certain expectations. You're either looking for confirmation of what you already know, or attempting to shed light on what eludes you on the obvious path you're on. You're asking whether you will reach a desired goal of some kind. You're rarely able to see beyond memory or projection, and so naturally everyone comes to the oracle with a narrow perception of what's possible. Imagine that the answer to your question is not about landing at a particular destination or meeting a goal, connecting to a special lover, reaching an endgame, or experiencing anything specific. Instead, you discover a shimmering web of jewels you didn't know existed. The world is interconnected in a living web of energy. It isn't possible to know how any of it works, but know this: what is in your highest good is a sparkling jewel that lights up for you among this web of possibilities. You just need to know how you want to feel and choose this consciously. Take your focus off of getting anywhere. Practice feeling and being in a place where your desired experience has already come to pass. Who will you be when this is true for you? Can you be that now? Feel that now? Practice that. The better you know your path within this web of life, the more it will light up for you. It is celebrating you already. So that's a great message. So this energy that's there isn't about reaching a specific destination, right? I usually call it like trying to prove that my small t truths are more truer than your small t truths. So the destination in that is to be proven right, to feel safe, to feel in control instead of feeling out of control or unsafe, which can be the common energy felt across the planet at this time. But this is about understanding how everything is connected, how everyone has the same goal in mind, absolutely, about we all want to be loved. We all want to feel safe and in control, but ultimately, even beyond that, is that we want to feel loved and accepted. That's the ultimate goal of the human experience, is to feel that of really what we feel back home when we're, in the heavenly realms, the higher realms, where there's unconditional love, and we do feel that way. So understanding this connectivity, how everyone feels the same, is an important piece. We're also going to pull some cards here from this tarot deck and see what else they want you to know about this connectivity. I almost kind of feel like there's a message here about the World Wide Web. Don't believe everything you read on the internet, right? Why would we believe any of that human stuff? Because the humans are misinterpreting things because they're looking at it through the lens of their inner world, and we don't know what they're seeing. And so when we have people tell us, this is what that means, this is what's going on, do we really want to put any stock in that, right? So follow our heart, focus in on those things that really matter, right? Okay, and I feel like we want to put these two like this. Yep, and these are the ones. So we'll start with this one right here. And you have the Queen of Swords. And this is so perfect for what we were just talking about, because swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. It's the world of the small t truths and the capital T truths. And you can see here that in her hand, she actually holds the Ace of Swords, which does give her the ability to connect to the higher realms and discover what those capital T truths of unconditional love in the spirit world are, while at the same time allowing her to slice away, not only slice up the cake, but slice away those thoughts and those beliefs of the small t truths that are rooted in fear, that are rooted in that fight or flight and that human experience. So she gives you this power. She's bringing that to you, while at the same time, all of the queens, in addition to the energy of the suit that they're in, which this is air, which is the sword suit, all of the queens also hold water, which allows you to connect to your beautiful intuition, your gut, connect to the spirit realm, especially with the new moon in Cancer coming in with that water energy. This allows you to trust your gut, your inner gut, not out of fear, but out of love. And when you really start to weigh things out, then you understand what is of the human fear and what is of the spiritual unconditional love. And then you understand what is the capital T truth that's eternal, and the small t truths that are unstable and constantly fluctuating in the human world. So you do have this truth that's coming, and you have the ability to look at it. And then you do have the Magician, card number 1. So the Magician does a couple things. One, they actually, you can see here that they have this mask. You're able to see beyond that. I really feel like this is the energy that's coming in. Because the Magician, normally you'll see like a infinity symbol above their head. And when you see that, what that means, that's your higher self, your spiritual self. And they usually have like one hand toward the heavens and one hand toward the ground. And that's like the wand is the conduit of what you're bringing through that truth. You're bringing through that beautiful love, unconditional love from above, and bringing it through you as a conduit to the world. So the Magician does bring in this magical feel about it. Also, they usually have all of the elements in a table in front of them, meaning they have everything they need within them and available to them to really dive into understanding what it is they want to share and bring into the world, and you have the capability and the capacity to do it. So know that as you connect with these capital T truths and this transformation happens in how you're perceiving the world, that when you do that, like this mask falls away, you start to see things from a higher perspective, and so you start to see things more purely and clearly. That's what that whole, Neptune retrograde energy is doing for you too. It's allowing all the illusions of things to fall away, and that is beautiful for you because it's freeing. You stop looking to the outside world for all that unstable definition of things, and you start finding it in your heart from within instead. And then you have the 9 of Pentacles. So the 9s kind of have the same type of energy as the 9 in the major arcana, which is the Hermit. And the Hermit is about going inward and finding your wisdom from within. They have like a lantern that has this bright star in it, which is actually your higher self, guiding your path, allowing you to illuminate and show you things and bring you the wisdom from the higher realms into your human path. Well, the Nine of Pentacles, the Pentacles represents your outside world. It represents also like your feeling of your worth and how you are determining your worth based on the outside world. And the 9 for me means that you're finding it from within. You're finding your worth from inside of yourself instead of basing it on what's going on the outside. So this journey that you're having with all of this is actually very freeing for you, because not only is it bringing you this clarity on how the world works and, the heavenly truths, you're actually seeing the truth about your worth. When you look on the outside world, all that instability and constant change and even contradictions that are happening out there, when you base your worth on that, you feel unstable, because it's the retail price on the outside world. You could be a coat in northern Alaska during the winter, and people, wow, they think you're priceless and you're worth so much more. They might even mark you up in price, right? But if you're that same coat and you're in the southern Texas during the summer, you're on the 90% clearance rack, right? And that's the unstable world of the outside world of that retail price. But when you start finding your self-worth from within, from your capital S self, your higher self, then you see that you are truly priceless. And it's a stable, eternal worth, not a fluctuating, temporary, type of worth. So beautiful understandings that are coming here for you. And then you have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups, cups are your emotions, and the 4 is a very stable number. Think of like a table with 4 huge legs on it. It's a very solid foundation. So the Four of Cups also is bringing in this emotional stability in for you, which makes sense with what we've been talking about here. When you are being influenced so much by the outside world and that unstable chaos that goes on out there, how can you be emotionally stable? We are all emotionally unstable, because all that stuff makes the little child in us feel unsafe. It makes us feel out of control. And so we're in fight or flight mode. We are flipping out and reacting like crazy. Literally, we are out of our minds, because when our human side feels unsafe or out of control, it sounds an alarm. And when it goes into that fight or flight, blood rushes from our brain and all sorts of other things happen in our body where, it's like preparing us to fight or to run. And when the blood leaves our brain, it's not wanting us to think. It doesn't want us to stand there and get eaten by a giant monster. It wants us to either fight like crazy to survive or run away and survive. And so it's not designed to think in a responsive, emotionally mature way. When it goes into that mode, it goes into reactionary mode, almost animalistic, where it does whatever it feels it needs to do to feel safe or in control again, right? And so that definitely is an unstable place to be emotionally. But with all this beautiful spark, this higher truths that are coming in, you're seeing the divide between the two. You're understanding that there's 2 places that you can choose to feel from, and 2 different places to choose on what story you want to apply to any situation. The unstable, chaotic, side of the fear of losing conditional love of the human side, or that stable, beautiful, unconditional love of the higher realms. And so we are able to have this awareness that's coming in for you, and it's bringing much, much, much clarity for you. And then the final card we're going to pull from you is from these Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck, and we're just going to see what the final message for this week's energy that the Creator has for you around this wonderful, volatile rattling of our mental cage. And emotional cage as well, right? They're very well interconnected here. So, okay, I was going to say for Aries, is that the only one? Yep. And let's see what you got here. And you've got the meet, like a meeting, right? Connectivity, meet. Cute little card there. All the little birds that are flopping around. Let's get this kind of centered in me. See what comes with this one for you. It says a flight of brilliantly blue budgerigers. I know I murdered that. It's Budgerigars, which are the type of bird. So my apologies for totally not being able to pronounce that. But that flight of those brilliantly blue birds startle at the sight of this gentle creature. They've taken wing in a panic, but because this creature has simply stopped, the curious little birds begin to mill about. You can almost hear them twittering to one another about this stranger. Who is it? What is it? What is its purpose? Will it hurt them? As they flit around, they begin to settle down. One even swoops so low it can look up in the eyes of this immense being. In our world, we have all been both stranger and part of the flock. No matter which side you may be on right now, remember how it feels to be on the other side. What was fearful to you once may be as common as dirt. Do you remember that first day at a new school, where others might have swirled around like these bits of feather? Or when that new person walked into the office? Did you gather with those familiar to you to discuss this newcomer? It is a natural thing. And when this card shows up, ask yourself, what is causing your own budgie response? Take time to learn enough about someone or something so that what was once strange turns into a familiar sight. Wow. I really love that because that's talking about that fight or flight. They were taking flight, obviously, right? Because they're birds. But the fear, understanding, and I love the understanding that it brings, that what throws us into that fight or flight mode is because something seems strange to us. Things appears unknown to us. So that's what's making us feel unsafe, feeling out of control. We don't know what that thing is. And so no matter what side of the aisle you're on politically, race, religion, whatever it might be, whatever is causing this fight or flight, this fear, take a deep breath, step back, and remember what it was like to be on one side of a thing, and maybe put yourself in the shoes of the other person on the other side. And instead of having it a fear-based reaction, maybe it can be an unconditionally loving response to that individual, because we're not going to be able to change each other's minds, especially when we're out of our minds, reacting and becoming defensive and attacking in fear. When we're in fight or flight mode, there's no thinking involved. But when we look to change hearts instead, that is done through loving one another. And when loving one another, that's where things can change. That's where I think a lot of this beautiful, illusory things, this stuff that's been foggy, starts to clear away for you. So I am loving this message for you, all you Aries. If you are looking for even more messages of love from above, in addition to these weekly energy updates, I also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign and a few other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that gives you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. And also doing those things helps spread the love. It also helps my channel grow in very important ways, because when you like a video, share a video, comment on a video, and subscribe to the channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so giddy excited. It does want to share the videos of this channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of that, I am very, very grateful for that. And also, these are general readings. If you're looking for even more specific information for your specific life, I do offer personal readings at a reasonable price. They are all listed in the description box below, all the details. So if you want to check that out, you know where to check that out at. So beautiful, Aries, as you're going throughout this week, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing week. I'll be talking with you very soon. In the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.